Nick Gilbertson here, Breitbart News. We're here with Cliff Maloney, who ran the Pennsylvania Chase in 2024 and helped Donald Trump secure a landslide victory, with the Keystone State there. So just, Cliff, what was your strategy going in to win Pennsylvania?
So about a year ago, I get a phone call from Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
And he says, look, he's like, we got a big Pennsylvania problem, right? And Charlie was all in on Arizona and Wisconsin. He had staff in a lot of the swing states, swing congressional districts too. But he said, we are not going to be able to compete in Pennsylvania unless we have a real ground game effort. Now, my organization, Citizens Alliance, we do door-to-door, right? That's like what we're known for. We typically do door-to-door for America First conservatives at the state level. But we do doors. And so pretty much Charlie said, can you move everybody back to your home state of PA and run a full ballot chase operation? So from that, we launched the PA Chase, said we were going to knock 500,000 doors. And our whole public goal was getting Trump from 20% of the mail-in vote up to 33%.
And you guys were up against it too, Democrat with all this Democrat money just being pumped into the race. Just how were you guys able to do it?
Well, I think what was wild to me is that Kamala Harris spent about twice as much money as Joe Biden did, but she got about half the result. And if you look at the numbers, so in 2020, Biden had 2 million mail-in votes to Trump's 600,000. So we were down by 1.4 million votes going into Election Day. This cycle, we were only down by 400,000. So that's a million votes that they were not able to bank or to rely on that they were during COVID. So I think the Democrats just really, they astroturfed us. I did Matt Boyle's show like the week before the election, and he was even saying all these lefties are coming out saying that this ground game for Trump, it's completely fake and it doesn't exist. Meanwhile, I'm sitting with 120 full-time people looking at our daily reports, and I'm like, these folks are just talking, right? We were doing the work. They were just out there trying to act like it was going to be, a gravy train like 2020, and they were asleep at the wheel.
Great success in 2024. Looking ahead to 26, 28, are you looking to ramp it up and, continue to widen this divide between Republicans and Democrats there?
I'll do you one better. We're looking at 2025.
Okay.
So Governor Josh Shapiro, our governor in PA, has just announced that he is going to be back on the ground January 1 of 2025. Because remember, in Pennsylvania, there's 50 days of voting, but we have elections every year. And so what happened was you have requests have to be made every single year. So it is not something where everybody gets a ballot. So if they're going to be back out, so are we. This is about building permanent infrastructure, and my pledge to all the Breitbart viewers is if we're successful, I want to make Pennsylvania the red wall that makes it so that Democrats cannot win a national election for the rest of my lifetime. And that's what we're aiming to do.
We saw after the election, the Associated Press declared Dave McCormick the winner of the Senate race. And we see this extreme election denial from Bob Casey, and we see these county commissioners voting to count votes the Supreme Court had already ruled or shouldn't count. What are your thoughts on that, and what does that say about the Democrats and that they were still working to try and take that seat away from Republicans?
So I would say that the election denier title is now a bipartisan thing, right? Like they can't keep owning it that's just on the right anymore. Questioning elections is legal. There's a process. But let me explain. When we launched this PA Chase and we said, we're going to knock these doors and we were aiming for 33%. By the way, Trump got 34.5%. So wow. I buried the lead a little bit there. So it was a very good result. But what I said was the reason I wanted 33% is because if he got 30%, he probably would have only won by about 10 or 20,000, similar to McCormick. And if the amount of provisional ballots is greater than the win margin, the Democrats are like a dog on a bone. Okay, they will not let up. This Mark Elias and these attorneys, they go into every county and fight for as many of the illegal ballots. Remember, you have to sign the mail-in ballot, you have to date it correctly, and you have to use the secrecy sleeve. Those are the three requirements we have. And so if they're not following those rules, it's an illegal ballot. And all I say is, just vote legally. If you can't follow those instructions, yes, your vote does not count. And if that makes me a mean person, so be it. Don't be a child. Figure out how to sign your dang ballot. But Democrats are serious people, right? Republicans need to engage in some of this, not to get illegal votes to count, but we have to be prepared for those battles. So the fact that Trump won by 120,000 and there was only 100,000 provisionals, that is why this whole thing was called. We didn't have 3 weeks of counting and all these lawsuits, but it's a shame that in America, you have to win by more of a margin knowing that Democrats are going to try to get every illegal vote to count.
If you just had one message here to share at AmericaFest, Turning Points AmericaFest, what would it be?
So I would say this, I think a lot of people are excited, they're high off the win, enjoy it. We've won the battle, but the war has just begun. We all need to come together. Whatever the Democrats are doing, we got to match them tactic for tactic. We need to fight fire with fire. And I think, look, enjoy it as best we can, but this Doge and these first 100 days, this is something like nothing we've ever seen in our lifetime. And I think it's the greatest opportunity for us to truly reform, or as we should say, drain the swamp once and for all.